Welcome to this session of short-term dynamic psychotherapy. Today we are providing a simulated interview with Susan, a 45-year-old married lawyer and mother of 2 teenage children. This is session 10 in a course of short-term dynamic psychotherapy. Thank you. So, where would you like to start today?
Doesn't really matter, I don't think.
It doesn't matter?
Well, I mean, we can start. I can't really remember where we left off last time. It's been a while. I think we were talking about some issue I was having at work, but I think that's resolved, so probably not really important anymore.
Normally you have a lot to say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the truth is I'm kind of wondering, where we're going with this. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure really how much I'm benefiting.
Really? I haven't heard you say that before.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I really, we had to miss a week, and I guess I was thinking about sort of, and rescheduling, if there was really a point in doing that. I don't know. I guess I stopped and thought about it a little more.
You seem a little distant today, a little holding back, sort of.
I don't know. I mean, I suppose it feels like, we missed, we had been meeting weekly and then missing. I don't know if maybe I just feel like we gotten into a bit of a groove, I guess, and disruptive maybe, and I just.
So you're focusing on this missed session. What are your feelings about the missed session?
Oh, well, nothing. I mean, it was. I obviously I understand that, you're a person too, and so you're going to be sick and things come up or whatever. I'm not even actually sure why you had to cancel, but nonetheless, I understand you're a person with your own life, and naturally things are going to come up. So it's you sort of, like I said, we're sort of meeting weekly, and so I had been sort of really in that frame of mind, and I guess I just having to sort of not have that day when I was sort of prepared for it. It was a little unsettling, I suppose. I don't know if that's the right word, but.
So because you missed a session, you feel that it's not worth continuing? That you've lost the rhythm and it doesn't make sense to continue?
Yeah, I suppose when I hear you say it like that, it sounds a little illogical, right? So I don't know. I mean,
Well, I'm just wondering how did you feel about me canceling then? What were your feelings about that?
no feelings.
No feelings?
I mean, things get canceled, right? I have to manage the things, and so I'm.
Well, if you look at it from my point of view, I cancel a session and then you come back and say, well, there's no point continuing. So I would suspect that you have some feelings.
I mean, I think it's always a little, when something happens and, you're reminded that you are, another sort of number, another sort of
Oh,
person.
so you're just a number.
I don't know. I don't really know what you think or how you feel, but I guess that's how it feels when things sort
So
of.
you feel something. So what is that feeling? If you're just a number, what kind of feeling is that?
Well, I don't think anyone feels good when they feel like they're just a number. So I suppose it's not a good feeling, but I mean, logically, I
Well, I'm
understand.
not interested in logic. I want to know about what you're feeling. So, is there anything in your body that you're feeling? Any muscle changes or anything that you notice right now as we're talking about this?
Well, I suppose I feel a bit tense right
Mm-hmm.
now. Don't wouldn't say that I feel perfectly relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
And feel I mean, this isn't an uncommon feeling. In my job, I can actually, if I think about it, I probably spend a good decent amount of time feeling the way I do right now. Kind of feel
Would
like
you?
we're having a bit of, I don't know, maybe I feel a bit different than our normal conversations. If I feel a bit different.
Yes. Will you tell me what it feels like? Do you feel rejected or dismissed or devalued?
Um, well, I guess you could say that.
I think you're holding back. I think you do have a lot of feelings. But somehow you're defending against those feelings. You're blocking them out because perhaps they're cause you to feel anxiety.
Yeah, I mean, I think I feel actually a bit silly now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, as I said, it's obviously it's not rational to feel like that when your doctor has to cancel an appointment. And so I suppose
Well,
now
what
I'm
when you say it's
feeling,
not rational to feel like that? What feeling are you referring to?
as you said, feeling a bit um, rejected.
Mm-hmm. When you got the message, when my secretary called you to let you know that I had to cancel the appointment at the last minute, do you remember how you reacted in the moment, how you felt at the time when you got the message?
Yeah, I was a bit annoyed. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
Okay,
annoying.
let's stay with the annoyed. What does it
Okay.
feel like when you're annoyed? You're pressing your throat. You're feeling something in your throat.
Um, yeah, I guess, yeah, when I felt annoyed, I mean, it was scheduling the appointments are difficult as it is for you too, I'm sure. And so, um, I suppose I was just a bit annoyed at needing to, like, having wasted, the time that wasn't going to be used for that, and knowing that I guess I was a bit concerned about when we would find a new time to book and, how long that might take. And so that was my initial reaction. I don't know that
So
that's.
let me just interrupt you there because I want to stay with the emotions, not the rationalizations. So a bit annoyed is sounds like an understatement. And annoyed in itself is a bit of an understatement. What about feeling anger?
Well, know that I would say I was, I, I suppose, a bit angry at the situation. Yeah.
I mean, what do you like when you're angry?
What am I like?
How do you show your anger?
Um, I don't think well, I don't think that I show a lot. I mean, I certainly don't think it's useful to throw a temper tantrum, or so I don't know that what it looks like actually from the outside. I mean, I guess at home, if I'm angry and at my kids or my husband, that probably looks different. I could, like anyone, I might yell, I could, but I'm probably more likely to just handle that on my own.
So, growing up in your family, how did people show anger?
Well, it was just really my mom, because my dad wasn't around for me to see what he was like. I mean, I suppose when I was really young, he must have gone angry at times, but I don't recall that. And so in the time I spent with him after my parents divorced, I don't know, I didn't really see him get angry very much. And my mom, she was at least she didn't show her anger. So I don't know how she handled it, because I can't really actually remember a time ever that she was angry. Well, I shouldn't say that. Probably, when my parents and her were divorced, I do remember one time, her being upset. But of course, my dad was leaving our family, so I can't fault her for that. So, yeah, I don't know that I saw a lot of what I would say are great examples of anyone being angry.
Okay, I'm just going to have to pause for a minute because I have a call coming in. If you just hang on, it will only be a few minutes. Sorry about that. It was an important call. I really had to take it.
Yeah, I guess, sure. I mean, I don't know if that was actually a joke. Like, we're just talking about, our missed session and canceling, and then I'm not sure. I mean, I certainly know that I don't take calls in the middle of my meetings with clients, but
So what are you feeling about that?
I mean, if you have to ask, I mean, I guess, yeah, I'm pretty pissed off.
Pissed off? Yeah, tell me more about that.
Oh, I mean, it's rude, and I think, I guess actually I'm actually glad that happened, because I think, to my earlier point, I'm not really sure that the point in continuing, actually.
So that's a lot of anger. You're wanting to quit therapy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I wanted to quit, but I'm not sure that working with someone who clearly, taking calls in the middle of appointments, canceling. I mean, I can't see that that's really helpful to me.
And how does that compare with our previous sessions?
Well, I mean, I guess our previous sessions were fine.
I mean, did you feel they were helpful?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's always helpful to get some things off your chest. I mean, I don't know that it was life altering, but I suppose it was good sometimes to talk. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just feels like that's a lot of time spent. I'm not sure. I just am thinking about how much time we spend and what we get out of it, and I don't know that it's.
So what are you feeling towards me at the moment? How do you feeling?
I feel a little bit like you duped me, actually.
Duped you?
Well, I mean, I was referred to you. You were supposed to be, you are, an expert in this field. And so, I didn't really know what to expect, but I don't know. I guess I thought that I would feel a lot better. And I thought that, that we would be doing more. I don't know. I guess I'm not sure what I really expected from it, but I feel like whatever my expectations were, in some way, I'm not feeling very satisfied by that. So,
Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way.
yeah, so am I.
I mean, I feel that we have a bit of a rupture here, a bit of a break in our therapeutic relationship here.
Sorry.
You seem quite hurt about that. What's coming up
I
right now?
I don't know. It's silly.
No, some tears are coming up. You seem upset. What are you feeling right now? What's coming up?
Well, I mean, I'm human. Like, obviously, I've spent time like telling you a lot of very personal things, and that's not something that I do. And so, yeah, it feels a little bit disappointing.
What about sadness?
Um, yes.
What makes you sad about what's happening right now?
Um, well, I mean, I, as you know, and I shared with you, I'm aware that I have these issues, and and coming to see you, I was hoping that I would be able to get past them, and I guess now I feel like I'm just sort of on my own again, like to try to figure this out again on my own, and I don't really. I mean, I'm 45. I haven't figured it out by now. I'm not sure.
So you're feeling rejected again. You mentioned on my own again. What does that refer to?
Actually, I don't know. I didn't realize I said that.
When were you left on your own?
Well, I mean, we're really talking like big picture. I mean, as you know, my dad left us. I mean, that's water under the bridge, but he did leave our family, right? And he had a new family. So that was, I suppose, as far as rejection goes, there.
So once again, you don't show much emotion in describing this, but you dismiss it as water under the bridge. Maybe we should bring that water up to the surface and see what you're really feeling, because I suspect that there's a lot of deep feelings, deep currents, if you like, that you haven't been able to fully process, because you are very defended. You do have a lot of defenses, minimization of your feelings, avoidance of your feelings. So this is very important in our therapy, and even with this rupture with me, it manifests as you're being very polite, you're being minimizing, but clearly you have a lot of feelings, and those feelings resonate with things that have happened in your past that are not resolved.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to sort of think about that. I mean, I guess what I meant by water under the bridge is, it's done. Like, I was a child. I mean, this is all, we're talking, you know, 35, 40 years ago. I mean, I guess, he left. I mean, people will leave, families divorce, there's those things happen. So I guess I just meant like, I'm worried about now, my marriage, my relationship with my my kids, like I have these, I obviously, I have the issues now. I mean, I'm not my dad, yeah, clearly, but I guess but I don't
Well,
know, if you say so, then.
it's not that I say so, it's that I think there are a lot of feelings that you still avoid and you still minimize. And clearly, based on our other sessions, these unresolved feelings of rejection or dismissal or devaluation have affected you in other relationships. But today, I think we're coming to the end of our time for today. But I think if you want to continue with me, I think it will be something that I feel will be beneficial. I understand you're upset about me canceling and taking a phone call, but I think we can work that through and learn how to resolve the break, the rupture, if you like. I think that can be helpful.
Okay. I mean, we've gone this far, I guess.
Okay, so let's make another time, and then I'll talk to you on the other side. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Apple, and Susan is really Erica Haber, who's a skilled psychotherapist and manager of a mental health program. So we're going to talk about the brief session you just saw. I'm going to give my feelings about it, and Erica will give hers. So I found in doing the interview that it was quite difficult, as you probably all saw. The defenses are very strong, and the patient, Susan, Erica, was heavily defended against emotions of both perhaps anger towards me about canceling the session and taking a phone call, but also sadness at the prospect of being rejected and devalued again. So I was trying to get past defenses and just some brief breakthroughs of emotion, which in future sessions one would like to deepen and explore further. So Erica, what was your impression of the brief session we just had?
Yeah, I think that Susan was, confronted with a lot of feelings, and I think it was hard to get past the anger of feeling rejected, but then in contrast, having this sort of moment of emotion that came through, and I think though that almost like the doors kind of slammed closed at that point, feeling like there was a lot of almost conflicting feelings, like it was, I was angry, but I think as you were tapping into the sadness, there was like a feeling of vulnerability that was a little bit too fragile to sort of show, and so I think it strengthened, like the defenses were strengthened almost by that.
So how do you think the therapist might be able to pursue this and make some progress with you?
I think it's in seeing that surface, that those defenses on the surface were really, an indicator of some intense emotion and affect under the surface. And so I think it felt like also the way, you addressed the rupture and continued to address it and not, sweep it under the rug when you move forward was important. Because I think that it felt really validating, but I think for myself or Susan, it felt, like not like an unfamiliar thing, like not having ever had that experience of someone, working through a rupture. Like usually the anger would create a distance, a safe distance. And so you stayed with it. And I think that felt good for Susan, but also a little bit like unfamiliar area. So I think it was hard for Susan to stay there too. But I think it would just be continuing that, that conversation probably would,
Yeah.
break through that. There's a lot in one session to happen to go from the anger to that, right? Like,
Right. And of course, in these videos, we tend to accelerate things, and in
right.
reality, one would want to spend a lot more time trying to stay with the feelings and elicit them. And that's a process that will recur over the sessions to come. Okay, well, thank you very much for doing this, and we're going to stop there, and thank you for watching.